Wagwan raw boy, it is I, RastaFish. Welcome back to this bomboclad thing. Today I brought out all my caliber 50 ammo in order to see which one performs the best. I'm going to use my HDR 50 or TR50 as some call it, since that's the only airgun I own in caliber 50. It should have around 7.5 joules, but we are going to shoot through a chronograph, so we are going to see exact measurements. By the way, today we have 20 degrees outside, so this should be a good day for testing. We are going to shoot through the chronograph to measure the power. We are going to shoot through multiple layers of cardboard to see how deep each ammo type penetrates. We are going to shoot at these coconuts, and last but not least we are going to shoot at this TV. So let's take a closer look at our contestants. So first up we have rubber balls, next up are nylon balls. We have these killer spikes, then we have these destroyers made out of aluminum. We have these in silver and in gold. We also have just regular aluminum balls. Then we have the so-called real 9mm bullets, which are showcased in another video. Let's see how they do against these other ammo types. Then we have these devil spikes made out of steel, and we have them also made out of aluminum with only 2.5 grams. We got the rubber steel balls with the steel dust coating, and we also got the S-type variant with the steel core. I also recently compared these two, but let's see how they hold up against the rest of these ammo types. In theory, these airguns should lose a bit of power with each shot, and therefore I decided to shoot these bullets types one after another and do 3 cycles of that. It will make sense once you see what I'm doing. I don't know how good you can read what stands on the cardboard, so I will quickly go over that. We will start with rubber balls, nylon, aluminum, killer bullets, destroyer and devil bullets. I drew a line in the middle because I plan to shoot the steel devil spikes at the top half and the aluminum devil spikes at the bottom half. Okay, so I'm really struggling to get these steel and aluminum bullets into this magazine. They have too much fraction for my liking, so I'm going to use the original plastic magazine. Okay, so I know what I did wrong. I didn't change the weight for each ammo type on the chronograph, and obviously that is very important if you want to measure the power. That mistake obviously has no impact on the cardboard test, so we'll just keep going with that. Okay, so for this next round I did set up the chronograph correctly. Keep in mind though that we did already shoot 21 times, so the power shouldn't be at its maximum right now. Definitely a misreading, apparently 224 joules. Let's just do that again. That seems more accurate. Okay, so before we look at the results, I do want to make another round with the correct chronograph readings and a fresh CO2 capsule. So let's empty this one. Okay, so fresh capsule inserted. I will shoot 3 times to get the initial pressure build up out of there. And now just like we did before. The chronograph says 1.32 joules with 160.8 feet per second. That seems quite low. So I think I was a bit close with the muzzle here. Okay, apparently I mixed something up here. We will go back to the killer spikes. So let's start with these three. We got rubber, nylon and aluminum. Okay, damn! It seems like I didn't have enough layers. Those were 10 layers and some made it through actually. So it seems like the rubber bullets had one going through all the way. With the aluminum bullets, I don't know if any actually made it through the last layer. We can definitely see some dents, but yeah, I don't know if any actually flew through the whole layer. Maybe this one, but I'm not too sure. Two of the nylon balls made it all the way through. I think nylon did the best out of these three, and I kind of expected that because they are very hard but still only weigh 1.1 grams. And that's a good combination for these weapons with only up to 7.5 joules. Okay, let's look at these three bullet types here. Remember that on the upper half we used the steel devil spikes, and on the lower half we used the aluminum devil spikes. Damn! Okay, look what happened over here. Okay, here we can see that one of the destroyers made it through, and the killer spikes actually punctured the back of the last cardboard layer as well. The aluminum version of the devil spikes seem to have made a dent here in the back as well. Okay, but we can't see any dents or anything alike here where I shot the steel devil spikes. So it seemed like the aluminum devil spikes were superior. I expected that because the steel devil spikes are very heavy with 6.5 grams. A bit too heavy for these 7.5 joule air guns, at least. It does seem like the killer spikes as well as the destroyers did do the best out of these three. And overall, it's kind of hard to say actually. Here in this test, I would say that the nylon balls did leave the biggest holes at the last layer of cardboard, and therefore they won. And as we can see here on the back side, none of these made it through, but we can see that one impact here is visible from the back. So here we have the last layers of both ammo types, S-type on the bottom and the normal type on the top. It seems like the S-type did a bit better, but not a huge difference in my opinion. You can see some dents from caliber 50, but these did not penetrate or didn't even make a big dent in the back. So yeah, although there isn't a big difference between these, the nylon balls performed best in my opinion. That being said, there definitely is a difference between getting hit with a round ball versus a spike like here, even if they are slightly less powerful. Okay, on this test we will keep the order just like on the test before, as you can see. So we will start with the rubber balls, and I will try to measure the power of each shot as well. And I don't see a crack in the coconut. Okay, now nylon balls. These performed very good in the last test, so let's see how they do now. And yes, we actually have a crack in the shell. You can see here we have the impact, and then from there it spreads out. Okay, aluminum up next. And these actually did not crack the coconut, I think. But as a result of that impact, the other crack that was already there made its way up to that impact. And regarding the fact that this is quite the hard part of the coconut, they didn't perform bad at all. But now let's see what the killer spikes can do. Okay, the chronograph didn't measure, sadly, but I don't know actually where we hit it. So we will see on the slow-mo hopefully. But I think it's safe to say that it made all the cracks much wider. So you can see these cracks much better now. Up next are the destroyers. These weigh 2.8 grams. And we do have quite the impact here with another big crack. So this one also passed the test. Okay, killer spikes, 6.5 grams, the steel version. And we did break a huge chunk of the outer layer off. But the coconut is not really leaking just yet. So I think we need to keep going. Let's try from here. Obviously the coconut is quite busted up already. So, but this is kind of just for fun. Okay, so aluminum double spike. And we made another great impact here. Now this whole upper part of the shell is loose. Okay, so this coconut is actually still good the way it is, so I won't destroy that any further. Instead I will eat it myself. But I do want to mention that I have noticed that these devil spikes in aluminum did deform a bit. That's typical for aluminum when hitting a hard surface, since aluminum itself isn't that hard. But it's always a good choice for these air guns since they are very light. You just need to keep in mind that you can't really reuse these ammo types. At least when hitting something hard. .12 joules with 133.4 feet per second. Yeah, that one did some damage as well. .56 joules, 140 feet per second, and this bullet actually made it in there, I think. We now have a big hole in the middle. Smells delicious. To my surprise, no cracks at all. I thought after cracking the coconut with caliber 68, I thought that caliber 50 would crack it as well, especially after the results of the cardboard test. But I guess I was wrong. I'm going to shoot in the same order as before. What we're also going to look out for are these impacts. These two are made by the rubber steel balls, and also these 4 or 5 impacts here, those were made by the real 9mm bullets. Apparently 1.23 joules with only 73 feet per second. .34 joules with 151.6 feet per second.
Holy what?
Okay, we definitely did do
A lot of damage.
2 shots of the normal ammo type first. I will aim to the right of the last impacts. Okay, 2 shots of the S-type variant up next. Okay, so these were the impacts caliber 50 normal ammo type, and these were the impacts with the S-type variant. I'm going to try to shoot in the middle of the screen from left to right. I didn't read the chronograph. Fuck, I'm so dumb. Why the fuck did I not... In the hurry I forgot to read the measurements of the chronograph. I'll do that from now on. Okay, so let's do it again. Okay, let's look at the results. Remember, these are 2 shots with the caliber 50 rubber steel balls, and these are caliber 50 rubber steel balls S-type. Over here we have the real 9mm bullets. These are the impacts from the rubber ball. They definitely made some damage, but they didn't really go into the screen. Here the nylon balls performed very great. They did puncture the screen quite a bit. One is actually still stuck in here. Let's try to get that one out. There you go. That definitely made a big hole in there, and both shots as well. Then we have the aluminum balls. They did some great damage too. Over here we have the killer spikes. They seem to puncture the screen with ease as well. Here we have the destroyers. They did just what the name suggests, but they didn't penetrate as deep as some other ammo types. But let's look further. These should be the steel version of the killer spikes. The heavy ones with 6.5 grams, and next to it the aluminum version of them. They are much lighter with 2.5 grams, and therefore they did a bit more damage, as it seems. Obviously, when having more power, the 6.5 grams would at some point be much more devastating than the 2.5 grams in the aluminum version. Now for the conclusion of this, I would like to declare one of these ammo types as the best ammo type in caliber 50. But as usual, it comes down to the intended purpose of each ammo type, or in other words, what you plan to do with it. Different shapes and materials can lead to very different results. And you also need to consider what you fire these ammo types with. Well, obviously the power is very important, but also things like the barrel length can lead to a very different trajectory. With all that being said, I actually want to choose two ammo types as the winner. One winner in the round ball category and one for different shapes, because as some of you may know, there are airguns out there that can only shoot round balls, like the HDP50 or this T4E Glock 17 for example. It's starting to rain now, so let's settle for a winner. In the round ball category I would choose the nylon balls. As already mentioned in this video, they are very light but still hard, which is perfect for these 7.5 joule air guns. And what is also nice about them is the fact that you can reuse them. Okay, so for the different shape category I would use the devil spikes. They do their name justice, because that spike really is nasty, and the fact that it is made out of steel makes these kind of reusable. We saw in the video that the plastic base sometimes detached from the spike itself, but in most cases you can just screw them back together. And because they are made out of steel, they don't deform easily as well. Normally ammo types that have steel in them tend to be very heavy, but I feel like the devil spikes kind of found a sweet spot. And as an honorable mention I would choose the real 9mm bullets. There's just something about being able to shoot a real 9mm projectile with your airgun. And in case you were wondering what I did to my HDR 50 here, I made a video about this conversion kit lately, so I advise you to check that one out. Oh, there's one thing I want to add. In this video some people were asking for a list of all these attachments, and therefore I have now put a list of all the attachments as a pinned comment in this video. Okay, so until the next video.